this. Okay. You guys can hear me, right? I'm going to share my. Okay. All right. So this. Can you guys see this? You can see this, right? Can you? Yep. Awesome. All right, so welcome to Design Thinking, everybody. Thank you so much for coming in. Some of you guys are very early. Some of you will be coming soon. It's fine. You can just view the recording anyway. Welcome to week 5. So, how are you guys feeling? How are you doing? Um, how's your life being in week 5? Are you guys okay? Do you have so many tests and assignments going on for other subjects as well? Are you guys okay this week? Are you okay? Let me just read some messages. Yep, yes. Okay. Tired of being at home and managing the kids' work and studies. Oh, such a super mom there, Rina. So very good. I hope you guys are keeping yourself sane. Okay, don't go crazy. Reward yourself if you feel that you have done a lot that week, so please go ahead and reward yourself. All right, so let's go. What we're gonna do today, number one, I want to remind you on your assessment, because now we are in week 5. You have only 2 more weeks, maybe more than 2 more weeks around that time. Okay, and then number 2, I want to remind you on your working habit as a team as well. And for this course, 70% is based on group work. So I want to remind you guys again on how is it to work as a team, and what are some of the things that I want you guys to do as a team as well. Number 3, I'm going to go back to problem statement and need statement. Hopefully, maybe some of you guys have got some of your, findings, or maybe I just want to make it much more clearer on how to do need statement. And lastly, today we are moving forward, and I'm going to brief you firstly on prototypes, and then you guys should be able to discuss among yourselves on which type of prototype that suits you better. And then lastly, I'm going to show you guys maybe some prototypes that my students have done for this design thinking course. All right, so let's go to the assessment. As I mentioned, 70% will be based on group work, whereas 30% is based on you, your individual task. And for your individual task, as I mentioned, I am opening all 7 quizzes up until week 7. And the last day for you to complete all 7 quizzes is on Friday, 8th of May 2020, 11:59. Okay, so normally for design thinking class, each week I'm going to close it, but because I understand that having to some of you guys are working, and then because this is BBSLS, I want to give a bit more flexibility for you guys to do it. Okay, so I just gonna open all quizzes. I have done that. So all quizzes are available up until May 8th. Okay, so just a reminder, for each quiz, I think there are maybe 2 attempts. So if you have finished with the 2 attempts, I cannot give you extra attempts, unfortunately. So that is it. So even if you have done your quizzes, and you have used all of your attempts, I cannot reopen a new attempt for you. Okay, I'm hearing some buzzes. Is there any questions? All right. No worries. Okay, so let's move into group work now. Your research report is done. Hopefully, I should be able to give your marks next week. And then for your group wiki, so as I mentioned, every week you guys have your own group task for your group wiki. Now, for that matter, okay, the last date for you to edit all 7 group wiki pages is on Sunday, 10th of May 2020. Where's my cursor? Yeah. So the last date for you to edit any pages in your group wiki is on Sunday, 10 of May 2020, 11:59 p.m. All right. And then group pitch is a different one. You guys have to record yourself, giving a pitch, and then I'm gonna talk about this next week. Okay, that is all for your assessment for design thinking. Are there any questions? Yes. So the due date for your group wiki, all 7 pages, is on 10th of May, on Sunday. Yep. Yeah. Good. All right. So this is it. I've been showing you guys every time I start my class. I always do this, so that it's much more clearer, not just for you guys but also for me as well. And for this week today, we are looking at prototype. Okay. I think some of you guys, asked question about business model canvas, and let's go back to your Blackboard just to make sure that people not confused. Okay, so is this your design thinking? Yes. So for your Blackboard, last week we learned about business model canvas. Am I right? So for business model canvas, you don't have to write in full sentences. It could be just, you know, some word or phrases. It does not have to be perfect. Um, and value proposition canvas is the reason why we put this up is because it's linked to business model canvas, but it's further more than just a business model canvas. But the only thing that we want you guys to work on is only your business model canvas for your wiki page here, page 4. Okay, so you don't have to do this value proposition canvas. All right, all you have to do is business model canvas. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my slides. All right. um so we are moving forward to our second agenda for today. I want to talk to you and remind you again on your teamwork. All right, so I'm not sure, maybe I have shown you guys this, but from Blackboard, I can see your contribution in the group wiki and also in your coursework in general as well. So one of the challenges of having online classes is that we really need your online presence. Okay, so all of your marks will be based on your online presence. And the for design thinking class in particular, because 70% of your course marks is based on group project, and I don't want certain people in that group working on everything because it will be unfair for their health, for their mental health. But as well, I want everybody to sort of like contribute, because I understand that everybody has their own talent. And for design thinking, we want to include all of those beautiful talents that we have. Some of you guys are very good in writing, some of you guys are really good at business, some of you guys are really good in drawing, which is something that is important for your prototype as well. I'm going to talk about it in a bit. But most importantly, I want to see equal contribution. Now, this is an example of participation marks, participation contributions basically, that I can see from my last semester's design thinking class. Now, what's sad is that this is me. I contributed 1% only, and sometimes I would constantly look at your group wiki pages, but I won't do anything. I just want to see if you guys have done it. Sometimes if I have questions, I would leave questions, and then I would, change the font in different colors so that you know that I'm the one who asked that question. So sometimes I would contribute few words. But sadly enough, we also have, some people, I don't know if you know this person, maybe not, but for some people, they don't contribute, and it's really sad. It's only 1% of the contribution, and it's almost like mine. And what's even sad is that I contributed more words than he did. So these are some of the examples on how I would think back, does this person contribute or not? And then I can use this as an excuse to reduce your marks. Okay, so I don't want you to be, because you're lucky you got good group members who did all of the work. I don't want free rider. I really hate free rider basically. So I just want to re-emphasize and remind you again that every now and then I will go to your group wiki and I'm checking all of the pages, and some of you didn't even do 7 pages. I asked you guys in the first week to do all 7 pages, and for each week we are going to tackle one by one. But for the first week I asked you to create 7 pages, and some group didn't do that. So I'm looking at that, and I can, I have the right to reduce your marks if I feel like you're not contributing, basically. Okay, not only that, I can even click on your name and I can see how much you have done. Obviously, in terms of core success, this person is not contributing. In terms of interaction, not really. Maybe in terms of submission, because you have individual tasks, it's almost average, blah blah blah. So I can see how much you have done throughout the semester, and I can use this, to say and to reduce your marks because you're not contributing. And I think in the first I think during the introduction, or maybe in the early of this semester, I also reminded you guys about group tasks. Now this is very very important. And also for your page 7, please list down what you have contributed in details. Okay, put a table, put your name there, and put what you have done. So basically the idea is that to have all of your group members to see and, to acknowledge that you have done it. This is not just, I mean, let's be honest, maybe in some group there are people who are much more dominant. So I want people who might be a little bit more quiet to feel that they have contributed something as well. So that is why I want to give justice to everybody. That is why I think that page 7 is very, very important as well. Okay, take it as one of the evaluations that I would take as well. So for example, I'm looking at your Blackboard contribution, group wiki contribution, and you're not contributing enough, and I can see, but when I see at your wiki page, which is more like less likely, because if you contributed you would see it, yeah, but your friends will be able to see it, and sometimes maybe they disagree with it. They can, separately email me and say, Miss, this person didn't even do this, blah blah blah. So I want it to be very transparent. I want to see what you have contributed. As cheesy, and also maybe people say that, oh, why are you doing this, it's like childish, but I really need to see this, and I want everybody to contribute equally. Okay, so that is it for my Babyland for this week. Please do your group work, okay? Any questions about group work? Right. Okay, thank you so much. I'm sorry you have to hear that, but I really have to emphasize on it, okay? All right, so now let's go to the next agenda, which is on talking about need statement or problem statement. This is very straightforward, very easy. In order for you to do this, you need your users, your target audience, the needs that they have, and then also some of the findings that you got from your primary research. Let's take a look at the example. This is very straightforward. You don't have to overthink this. Okay. So the first one, an example will be teenagers, who are the people who might be benefit from this, need to eat nutritious food, because it is found that 70% of INTI students are becoming aware on their eating habits. So basically, when I look at your survey questions, I would see the questions are being targeted for INTI people, INTI students, I'm sorry, and then I can see that the findings indicate that 70% of the people who answered to your survey answered that they are aware of their eating habits. Basically it. This is also another example. Stray animal, the people who will be using the product that is being used, need constant supply of food and shelter, because our primary research indicates that over 75% of Nilai people have found stray animals like dogs and cats in nearby area, especially at restaurants and side roads. So the finding has to be based on the questions that you asked, or the findings that you got from your survey. Basically it. Very easy, very straightforward. Any questions about your problem or need statement? Any questions? Yes, easy. Okay, I take it as no. Yes, no questions. Okay,
So for no question means
okay, yes, go ahead. Hello?
no question.
No questions. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for unmuting yourself. Thank you. All right. So this is in the past, yeah. This is not what we learned this week. This was in the past, and I just reminded you guys again. Okay. No questions. Thank you. All right. So let's move on. Let's go into our stage 4, which is on deliver. So now we are moving into delivering about our prototype. So basically, in deliver stage, basically, when it comes to trying to convey or trying to make people convinced about your idea or your solution, you would need a prototype. Now, I also teach public speaking, and I can see that students who are presenting using props or prototypes are more likely to become more confident. And then the people who, or the audience who are listening and watching automatically becomes convinced because they can feel it, they can touch it. So it's like more of a, you know more convincing in one way. All right, so let's have a look at, firstly, let's take a look at the definition of prototype. So what is prototype? Prototype is the first or early version of a product which other forms are developed. So what is basically means, it could be the initial stage. Sometimes you would do 5, 7 different prototypes in order for you to take or to finalize the design or the solution that you want. Okay, sometimes. Why do we need prototypes? Basically, we need prototypes because we want to test the effectiveness of our idea. We also want to base our design. If you are presenting in front of a group of people and you want to convince them with the design of it, so it's very good for you to have your prototype. Typically in industry, prototype is very important because you want the prototype to be tested and you want people to give feedback. And this is something that is similar to what you guys will be doing for design thinking as well. Next week, we are going to talk about feedback grid, where I want you guys to use your prototype to convey or convince people to give you feedback. All right. And sometimes you also, as I mentioned, sometimes you can recreate new different types of prototypes because for example, you have done prototype A and then you receive some feedback, you make changes according to the feedback, you have redo it and make it into prototype B, and then you present it again and then you got feedback and you change it, and finally you have the final design from different or series of prototypes. Okay. There are 3 types of prototypes, which are product, paper, and also digital. For product prototype, it's when you want to demonstrate the function of the design, but you don't want to think about the appearance. So you can use a cardboard or you can use a Lego, for example, and that is in a form of product prototype. Second type of prototype is when you use paper. Now, I would recommend people who are really good in drawing to use paper prototype. Paper prototype has a lot of advantages in a way that it's very convenient for that person and it's also very low cost. All you need is a paper and also a pen. So paper prototype is an alternative to a digital solution. It's something similar, but instead of using an iPad or even like a 3D software that can draw, you use paper. Lastly is digital prototype. Digital prototype often is a showing of maybe an app or a web page before you release a game or even a software or any kind of website or anything. Okay, so these are some of the examples of product prototype. As I mentioned, you can use a cardboard. You don't really think about how it looked, how pretty it is. You just want to illustrate people So this is how it's going to be in our shelter. We have, 3 bedrooms, blah 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 blah. So your goal in product prototype is just making sure that people understand and visualize what you want in that. Second, as I mentioned, if you are very good in drawing and you have a lot of paper, I guess you can use paper prototype. Um, if for some moment I thought that paper prototype would not be convenient because you guys are a group of people, but um, if I think if you distribute your work equally and you have a member that is very good in drawing and that person would like or volunteers to do paper prototype, I think it's fine to do paper prototype. And lastly, digital prototype. I think a lot of my students, they prefer to do this because they're very young. They like to, use online thing, I guess. So a lot of my students will go for digital prototype. Now, when you are working with prototypes, especially you guys who maybe have not met anyone in your group mates, and then I understand that we have certain limitations, certain constraints, and that constraints can come in terms of time, teamwork. Teamwork means that maybe out of 7, 8 people in your group, none of you guys know how to draw. Therefore, absolutely no paper prototype for you guys. So choosing the best type of prototype, it depends on you guys. As I mentioned, I would not see how beautiful it is, but I want to see into how you are able to use that prototype into conveying and also convincing people with your solution, right? And then budget is obviously, some apps require you to pay for it, and I don't want you guys to, pay for something, but unless if you want to use it in long term, it depends on you. And also materials. With what we have at home today during this lockdown is also important. So I want you guys to be thinking about these constraints, and I totally understand. Okay, do not force yourself to do something big if it can impact on everybody's mental health, because you guys will be so stressed out, and then your teamwork, some people disagree. So I'm gonna leave it to you guys. All right. um, so your prototype can be lo-fi and also hi-fi. So lo-fi is basically something very basic, something very quick, and really, really cheap. Like using paper prototype, product prototype. If you have Lego at home, you can use cardboard or any kind of reusable items. You can even edit using PowerPoint slides if you want. Okay. But for hi-fi, it could be in a form of software applications or even a 3D model. All right. Now, I want to show you guys, my previous students, what they have done, which I think was very quite impressive. I think a number of them are taking IT as well. So this is an example of an app. So as you can see, they're actually doing it. They are doing the app itself. So here they are building an app that can detect, and also I think they can give feedback, or they can rate another driver as well. So they have an app for it, and also they have a separate device for this because they want to reduce the amount of accidents at road, basically. So as you can see, it's very detailed. It could be very simple as well in terms of colors, but I can see that a lot of effort are being put into this. As I mentioned, there are a lot of constraints into doing this, and this is the this is the result of 17 weeks. You guys are only 7 weeks. And I have to take that into account. And I don't want you guys to stress too much on it. But I don't want you guys to feel too relaxed, with as far as it is chill, chill. But I want you guys to show that you have done some efforts as well. Okay? This is another example. It's very simple. It's just like a drawing. But when they are pitching or when they are trying to, convey their solution to people, they use their prototype and then explain on it, which is good. This is an example of product prototype. So they record themselves in a video explaining about, different mechanisms in this. This is an example as well. They are doing a recyclable bubble tea cup, and I think it's very interesting because this they did this in August last semester, August 2019, and during the MCO, I noticed. I don't know if it's in Shopee, it's one of the online applications. They actually sell this. I think Live Tea Live or um I don't know, one of the bubble tea franchise actually did something similar. What's good about this? They do a 3D model of this. They have done very good job, and I think because they are IT students, they also did a video. I'm gonna show you guys the video. It does not have any background noise, but they use this when presenting. They say, "Oh, this is blah blah blah." So it's very detailed, as you can see. There you have it. Um, Not gonna pressure you guys, but these are some of the examples of what my students did. Okay, so I understand there are some limitations. So talk to your friends, talk to your group mates, and decide on one particular thing that you guys want to do for your prototypes. Okay. So Blackboard task. Any questions? Sorry. Yeah, so good, right? But no pressure, okay? No pressure. Everything depends on you guys. I just show it because I'm proud of what my students have done. So these are some of, the examples. And once you guys have finished, I'm gonna show, my future students what you guys have done as well. Okay, so for your Blackboard task this week, you have to do your prototype. So if you have decided to do paper prototype, you should be able to sketch it, take a photo, make sure it's clear, or take a video. Be creative about it, and then show us how the prototype is going to look like. The prototype is important because the same prototype will be used for your pitching and also for your feedback grid next week. All right. Also, due this week is the individual task. No, just a reminder on your individual task for your quiz 5. All right. I think I heard some questions. No, no pressure. Okay, no pressure. Just saying. I see. Yes, I think they're using AutoCAD. Basically laying out blah blah blah. Blah. Yes. Yeah, basically it. And the idea of it is for you to show your prototype when you are explaining it, so that people are able to visualize how you want the solution to be. Okay, so we have some more time left. Do you guys have any questions? Is it done? Yes, I'm done. Do you guys have any questions? Um, no questions. Yes, Wong, do you want to unmute your mic?
Hi, Miss.
No?
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Mm-hmm.
me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm from Group 6, and we had a discussion last night, and we have a
Mm.
question about the business canvas model.
Okay.
Is about the revenue stream.
Your
So,
revenue stream?
we remember, yeah, revenue stream,
Mm.
and we remember you show us the example of your previous,
Students?
and they did with all the breakdowns of the cost of materials,
Yeah.
as the example you showed us before.
Yes.
And we are wondering, do we need to include that in the whole revenue streams? Because now what we did was we break down all the percentage on how and where we are earning the revenue from.
Okay. So the example that I show you, It was based on a case study on how they want to improve on their existing product. So they have before and
Okay.
after. But for
Yes.
you guys, only what you want. So only for what
Okay.
you
So
did
it's
is correct
only
lah.
okay.
Based on
Okay.
what you predict
Because
to be.
we
Yes.
really, yeah, we predicted how many percent will, like example, how many percent of income will come from this angle,
Yes.
and how many percent from the other angle. Is that all right?
Yes, very good. Well done. That's what I want.
Okay. Okay.
Good
Then
job.
we done it. Okay. Thank you, Miss.
No worries. Thank you. Any more questions? Okay. The purpose of prototype is to assist, yes, to assist during pitching and also feedback grid. So it might not be functional prototype. Yes. Yes. Exactly. So as I mentioned, there is a wait, let me go back. So there is two different types of prototypes. It could be lo-fi and also hi-fi. So I'm assuming that if you choose to do like a simple one, it will be lo-fi. Anything is okay with me. Okay, it does not matter this one or this one, as long as you have your prototype. Okay, all right. Any more questions? Do you have any more questions? Okay, if you don't have any more questions, I think we can finish. You guys can talk to your friends. You can have a quick discussion. If you have any problems with your prototype, please let me know. Okay. Please let me know if you need, maybe opinion about your prototype, but no pressure, no pressure. So anything that is easy for you guys. Obviously, if you choose a very high quality or you have done a very good quality of prototype, that would greatly help you in your marks. But I don't want to be I don't want to stress too much on you guys because it's unfair as well, right? I mean, like, to put too much pressure. Yeah, can. Prototype layout, yes, obviously you can do that. Put it in a PowerPoint slides, it also can, right? So if you guys have decided to draw it instead, make sure that it's very clear. Okay, and do not draw stick man. Don't just draw one line and then only black and white. Make it more interesting lah. Make it like you have done a lot of effort in it. Okay, yes, like the first cardboard example is also okay. All right, so for prototype, I'm also quite anxious because um I don't want one single person doing it. Therefore, we go back to our teamwork again. So please discuss among yourself. If you are very good in drawing, tell people now. They wouldn't know. Okay. So be frank with your friends. Tell them that you want to work on it, and give them time to work with your prototype. Okay. So please don't make only put the big burden on one person. Share the burden, okay? Again, no pressure in the most polite way ever, okay? Don't take it as a sarcasm. I really mean it, no pressure, okay? All right, any more last questions before we close? No? No questions? Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Thank you so much. I think it's very clear, right? It's very easy. Don't stress too much. Stay positive, okay? So take care, everybody. Have a good rest, okay? Bye bye, guys. Bye. Bye.
Bye, Miss.